Ashwin to SIBM Nagpur.
Thank you.
It's an absolute honor to have you here with us. You've visited countries across the globe. You've visited so many universities. So I would just want to ask you that is there a gap that you feel in the experience, that how do Indian students differ from foreign students?
So thank you so much, Disha, for having me, and really it's an honor to be here at the Symbiosis International University in Nagpur. It's my first visit here. So our Indian students globally are acclaimed for coming to the campus, to a global classroom with great skills. And I think those students which are going abroad bring with them several skills, which is also endurance and resilience that enables us in the Indian diaspora overseas to flourish. And I think our students overseas are known for being curious, having the passion to do things, and of course the endurance, because students going abroad requires a great amount of resilience through the program, through the life, and they're highly adaptable. So I feel around the world our Indian students are much welcomed across, right from the US to Japan. Our Indian students are making a great name for themselves.
That's lovely to hear, being an Indian student. So building on that, one big dilemma there's going around, and students face that if they want to pursue a master's degree, say MBA for that matter, so should they consider an Indian MBA program or a foreign MBA program, and whichever, so what criteria should be there?
Yeah, I think this is a very personal question to each person, and it would really depend what their long-term or short-term vision is. And I think they then start asking themselves, what do they want to do in the next 5 to 10 years? And I think in the last few years, our Indian institutions, especially the management schools, are offering global programs with global experience, global faculty. There are just greater internships available. And of course, in India, every business school is offering a kind of I would not say a guarantee, but at least a job-ready promise which they're making to the students. So it would depend, and I think going global and going to institutions outside of India does open up the mindset, does open up their kind of thinking. And I think every student in some point in their career needs to go abroad to see what is there outside of India, because a global classroom teaches you much more than what a faculty in a classroom can teach. And learning from different cultures, being with another colleague or another student from another country teaches you a lot about them, and you can bring that back to you when you come back to India, of course, if the plan is to come back to India. So either if you're studying in India or looking to go abroad or looking for the various programs, either a master's or an MBA, it would all boil down again to the financial capability. And I think India at the moment offers some greatly ranked institutions. So if you're looking at rankings, it's one of the metrics, but rankings are perhaps just one of them. You need to look at where the alumni are, because some of the institutions offer great alumni support as well for the ecosystem. So you'll have to look at every possible support system that the institution, the B school or the university is providing for this MBA program. And then it also depends on what your desire is. And of course, the location which you feel comfortable as well. Yeah.
So rightly said. So we at SIBM Nagpur, we are big on internationalization. We have GIP programs, we have Sagyogita, where we get, faculty members from international university to talk about, but that's another topic. So coming to my next question, so there is a trend that we've been observing, that recruiters are now kind of moving ahead from the degrees, and they're looking more of a skill set in the usual, hiring criteria and everything. So especially in tier 2 colleges, because student-driven culture is very heavily emphasized there. So what would be your comments on that, and how do you think students can maximize a student-driven culture maybe in a tier 2 college and, be better for placements?
Yeah, so any particular college, either tier 1 or tier 2, or any kind of institution, if you're going in India, I think it really depends on what the desire and the drive which the candidate has. Because what you learn in the classroom is a framework. How are you going to apply that in order to maximize the skills you're building? Because the classroom can teach you theoretical business. It can teach you, also give you some internships, but you'll need to understand about people skills. You'll need to build analytical skills. You'll have to have problem solving. And one of the biggest challenge we are finding with candidates going abroad is group work, working in a teamwork. So you need to actively build those skills. And I think while there is in recent past we've seen corporates are looking at skills more, but they are not discounting the higher education degree. In the US, of course, we see the trends for short-term programs increasing, but at least in India and in Asia and in the Middle East, we found that degrees are important to lay the base, the minimum foundation required, but it all depends on the kid. Even in a second-tier place, when with the availability of internet and various online micro-credentials, you can, even though you're from a second-tier city or second-tier college, you can stand out for an employer by having those skills and preparing for the workforce with any kind of university or a B school.
Lovely answer, sir. I hope that it really helps to the people who will be seeing this. But one thing about you intrigued me. So apart from beyond your work, whatever you do, apart from the QS, I also saw that you have started a PACT Foundation. So the PACT Foundation, it works inclusively with education and it creates vibrant classrooms for people and for children from marginalized areas, as you mentioned, from tier 2 cities. Even students can, use internet and use their skills to the best. So could you share what inspired you to take up this particular mission and how you see education as a force for change in India's future?
It's a fantastic question, Disha, because this is a question which really gets me excited. And I think as a follow-up to your last question, I come from perhaps a tier 3 city and I went to a tier 3 institution. And today I work for a global company which is headquartered in London, which is QS, has over 900 people around the world. So coming from a second or third tier city does not put you at a disadvantage. But then what I did was, because I come from a village, when I came back to the place where I belong, which is Goa, I had this deep introspection of what is success? Is success what education brings to you? Or is success what education motivates you to give back to the community and to society? And that is where, when I went to my school, when I went to the schools in Goa, and of course we all hear of Goa as being the place for glitz and glamour, holidaying and parties, right? But behind that glitz and glamour are schools which don't even have access to roofs, or proper roofs in this case, or even to sanitation, learning and digital tools. While we're talking of world-class programs and universities, these schools don't even have access to those basic tools. And PACT Foundation was a pact I created 3 years ago to be able to give these kids in Goa access to quality education, to infrastructure, to sanitation, by able to provide them dignity in what they're currently studying. So PACT is my personal promise. It is also a short form for People for Action, Change and Transformation, because giving back is something we all need to learn right in at school and universities, because once you are successful, you can measure the success not by what you have done for yourself, but by what you're impacting the community, the society, and the place which raised you. So that is PACT Foundation in short.
It's a beautiful foundation, sir.
Thank you.
So as we've talked a lot about international education, as the world is embracing and even India is embracing globalization, there's also a challenge of preserving Indian heritage. So do you think that our educational system should cautiously balance modern skills with the grounding in Indian identity? And if you think so, then what would be the values?
I mean, the world is learning from India, and if you look at yoga, meditation, work-life balance, this is something which earlier, when we look at how the Guru Shishya Parampara was of respect and having that balance, is something the world has learned from India. So I think we should not shy away from adopting our own culture and heritage in our learning process. And we see globally right now, people are, of course, modernizing the way education is being done, but we can still do it while keeping the core values, the Indian values at the heart of it. We see the Indian knowledge systems is something which the Honorable Prime Minister has spoken so much about, and the national education policy also emphasizes on that. So I feel we should be proud of who we are. We have had a struggle in India, if you know, through the oldest universities in India which were destroyed during the ancient times, through the colonization struggles which destroyed and took our universities into creating clerks. Today we are having a national education policy which is actually transforming education. So I think there's a desire from within every Indian right now that we should be proud of our heritage. We want to take modern technologies, but embed Indian culture's values and heritage into what we are. We are a tolerant society. And Symbiosis as well talks of Vasundhaiva Kutumbakam, and that is what we are. We should open up to the globe. We want to attract international students to come to India. We are a home to many thousands, I think almost 50,000 international students, and I feel we need to teach our values to the world and embed that to the Indian knowledge systems in the curriculum.
We really hope that we'll be able to do it in future. While your journey has been remarkable, sir, you've built a global presence, navigated different universities, mentored a lot, sure, but I'm sure it's not going to be that easy, right? So what has your, behind, I'd say, camera, or behind, I'd say, all the remarkable journey that you've met, what's the struggle story?
Well, we could talk for hours on that, because one of the things I see today are young people don't have the courage to endure, and that is what's required in the world if you go outside. And I don't shy from telling people that the first few formative years which built me were every afternoon sitting in the staircase of the office, having tears roll down my eyes because my boss was a racist. So I'm not shy to talk about it, but that built me who I am. And as we built our career forward, besides having endurance, we need to learn. We need to upskill ourselves. We need to learn new things. For the first few jobs I did, I tried to put my hand at literally everything the company did. Why? Because I wanted to learn. And today, when I'm a finance graduate, but I do marketing. I have a solid marketing background. I have done advertising. I've done publishing. I write. I'm good in IT. But that didn't come with a degree. And as I mentioned earlier, you need to open your horizons and learning new things. And while you are, of course, and for me, the early formative years were important to chart the course forward, and you have to be open to different cultures. You have to learn from different people, and never shy from asking what and how and why to people, so that you can grasp better. So I think my message to our young people is to be able to look beyond the bed of roses, because it's never going to be a bed of roses for anything you want in life. And I come from a second or third tier city or village, and for me, from coming from a village going to a global enterprise really required a struggle which had been, or even today, as people might find me successful, but there is a struggle as well to keep myself ahead of the game. So that can only happen with endurance, resilience, perseverance, and a passion for upskilling and learning, which will keep you ahead of the game.
Lovely, sir. And as we come to end of this conversation, see, many of us here are from tier 2 cities, and we only feel that in education, the elite institutions we're talking about can only be done if you go globally. So what would be your advice to such students like us who aspire to build something meaningful and world-class without going out?
Yeah, but Disha, why are we using the word second tier and third tier? It's my first concern I have with a lot of people. And when I go abroad and I look at different people, we are one country, and I think we all need to look at all the possible educational institutions as having the same status. All of them are perhaps AICTE approved. You need to look at the faculty they are providing at the institution, but also what the institution provides you. It's just the knowledge. You have to use your additional critical thinking skills, agility to move, endurance, and the learning ability to be able to stand out from the crowd. Because wherever you come from, be it a second, third, or first tier, you could be from a first tier institution or from a city, but you don't have the right skills to survive in the world, you're not going to be successful. And my message to everyone is that you need to start looking outside the box, but also don't have that box at all, because we always think outside the box, but never keep the box in mind, and you have to explore. But my final concluding words to everybody is, while we're looking to go global, while looking to look outside, we have to come back to India. We have, and I think the power to transform India lies in young people like you and our audience who are watching, to be able to take our nation forward. Because if us young people from first, second, third tier cities and colleges are not building the future foundation of our strong India, by coming back and giving, we will never be able to become a Viksit Bharat by 2047 and reach a $44 trillion economy, which of course the Prime Minister has been talking about.
Thank you so much, sir. It was a lovely conversation, and we are very, very honored to have you with us at SIBM Nagpur.
I'm honored as well, and I hope I have added some value to
Definitely,
today's talk.
sir. I feel
Thank you very
our
much.
viewers are going to be very excited for this. Thank you so much, sir.
Appreciate it.